All right, I think we're live. I had Travis in here.
I'm here.
All right, we're live. This is the after hours. Yeah, Buff's already in here. Because race truck. Yes.
Oh wait, I'm on the wrong one. There.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I was on the private chat, not the comments. I couldn't see any of the comments.
Okay. So if anybody wants to jump in here on live with us, well, I've got enough space for 4 other people. Shoot. Amber, if you're here, could you put the link up in the comments? Because I'm afraid if I try to do it, I'm going to lose everybody.
I can't figure out how to. I can't type in the comments as a guest.
You should go to the 3 dots that says more.
3 dots that says
at least on my screen it says more, and it should give you an option to comment in there. And I forgot that. Just hold on, Richard. We're figuring this out. Good grief. We're not Motor Trend. We're not.
Oh, Buff said I can't comment because I need admin rights to your account.
Oh. Well, maybe we'll work on that. Well, see.
There it is. Amber got it in there.
Last week when I was on, it was on your channel, I could click, there's a little deal on my screen on my phone. It says, I click more, and it says post comment. And I could actually post comments in the chat while I was live with you.
Probably something Amber did. It's not something I did.
No, because that's...
she might have made you an admin on our account.
No, I've done that. I've been able to do that with other lives that I've been on.
Oh, I don't know.
So, I don't know. Okay, so Tasha Haddock. This is Shellman's girlfriend.
Okay.
What if, hypothetically, Blueberry, which is their 89 Chevy 1500 single cab long bed, got a big block put in her? I jokingly told Shellman now he's curious about it. Well, that'd be a really good running truck is what it would be. Pin the StreamYard link to the top. I'm on my phone right now, RTG. So if I start moving stuff around, I'm liable to lose everything. So yeah, Quality Control is going to post the link in the comments. I'm not sure if it's been posted yet. Here it is. It's been posted already. There, RTG. Anybody that's wanting to get in on the live, Quality Control is going to try to keep up on that because she's awesome like that. The StreamYard link, just click on that, and I'll try to let you guys in. Yeah, she can't pin, but there it is again. Yeah, I'd have to do it in YouTube, and if I switch to YouTube, I've never done that on my phone. I'm just kind of staying with the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. I'm just staying on my StreamYard deal on my phone. I don't have a computer to do this on, so I'm kind of caveman in a way doing this. But anybody wants to get in here on the live, just hit this link. I've got it up there on the screen. Quality Control is taking care of us. And we'll see if we can get some other people in here on live. We got 15 in the chats.
Richard said he wouldn't watch us if we were on Motor Trend.
Yeah, you would. If it was us.
If it was us,
he'd be watching. But like the Motor Trend. Let's go with the Motor Trend subject. So, do you watch much of the Motor Trend stuff, Travis?
So I kind of binged a little bit in Colorado, and I haven't really watched any since we got back because I was able to watch Motor Trend, but I couldn't really watch YouTube. So I've been trying to catch up on YouTube since I got back. But I have watched some of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, what was your what? Because the Motor Trend channel, they got seemed like 100 different
I
shows.
really like
What's your
Engine Masters?
Engine Master? Okay, yeah,
I like the back-to-back testing, and
yep,
I think some of it is biased a little bit, but I still like that they do things that A to B, and that we're only going to change this one thing and see what's better.
yeah. I agree. That is probably my favorite channel on Motor Trend. It's probably the only reason I keep the subscription. I do like Roadkill and Roadkill Garage,
I like
and
Finnegan too.
yeah, Faster with Finnegan. Actually, Finnegan is probably, as far as a not character, they're not characters, they're real life people, but as far as the people on there, Finnegan is probably my favorite because he seems like the most down to earth, real guy.
Yeah,
I watch his YouTube channel also. But yeah, the Engine Masters show is one of my favorites because, like you said, they answer a lot of questions, and
yes,
what's good about it is, maybe not the thing people need to remember is dyno numbers, the actual number. You kind of got to look through the actual number. You just got to see the progress.
yeah, the difference on the same
The
dyno,
difference.
like, because you could take the same engine, put it on 3 different dynos, and get 3 completely
Yes,
different
exactly.
numbers. But if you are doing back-to-back, especially same day, same conditions on the same dyno, one intake versus another, or one cam versus another, that's good to see what the difference actually is. And sometimes, even though, and I also like, because they talk a lot about on there, well, this one made better peak power, but if you look at the curve is much better, even though the peak wasn't as high, and things like that. Because everybody gets wrapped up on that number, and the number is not the most important part of your dyno sheet.
Yeah, not the peak.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm at. It's like with the, of course, I'm going to get off. Well, I'm going to mention this and try not to get off on another rabbit trail from what we're talking about right now. But like you're talking about the overall curve, when you're talking about a 400, just a really mild 400 horse or 450 horse, whatever, a really mild 5.3 LS based engine versus a 400 to 450 horse big block Chevy, you look at the power curve, the horsepower curve, and the curve is way different.
Oh, yeah.
And the torque curve, torque is what gets you moving. The torque curve on a 400 horse LS will be like this. Torque curve on a big block Chevy at 400 horse, it'd be like starting out at like 500 pound foot and like kind of gets carried.
Yeah, right.
So that's the reason why a dyno is a good tool to, what you're building, what purpose you're building an engine for, what you're looking for, what you're wanting to get out of it. And you kind of see the difference in between different power plants. And, like you said, they do a lot of good stuff like A to B testing, intake manifolds, just regular, dual plane intakes. That's some of my favorite ones because everybody puts down, the cheap Chinese stuff. Well, when it's all said and done, a cheap Chinese, which like I've got a few of them.
Yeah.
And a cheap Chinese knockoff versus the Eldebrock, which is hands down the best, there may be 5 horsepower difference peak and actually overall on an average. So is the extra $200 worth that 5 horsepower for a street truck or street engine? Yeah, it's up to you, but what those tests prove is it just kind of lays it out there for you. We got a guest wanting to come in. Who is it? It's Irish Outlaw, Mr. J himself. Well,
What's his
something
it's
something
his
like that.
right? Well, in talking about something that I've learned, and I knew this, but they kind of just proved it. You'd be better off to take that $200 that you saved on the intake and put it into the heads.
Yes.
Because heads are king.
Hello, Jay.
Howdy. I was playing dryer mechanic. So
How'd that go?
Yeah. That little $4 piece of crap right there. Not a one in town. So
I just wire it straight. You don't need that thermal thing in there.
yeah, we'll just burn the whole house down. Hey, insurance, you gonna buy me a shop to put just beds in.
There you go. Build you one of them barn dominiums with the shop and the house all combined,
It's crossed my mind.
Oh, so quality control is still hitting us with the questions. Most expensive engine you have built, and was it worth it?
No.
I can answer that one. 455 Oldsmobile. Absolutely worth it.
Yes.
But that's with, I get discounted parts. And it was still expensive.
That doesn't matter because it could be used parts, discounted parts, but the dollar amount is the dollar amount.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Travis said his most expensive one. What was it, Travis, that you said no?
It was a 406 small block Chevy, a 30 over 400.
Yeah.
It had it still has. Richard has it in a truck right now, but it has a 37-pound steel crank, scat I-beam rods, SRP pistons, Brodix Track 1 aluminum heads, and close to 700 lift solid roller comp cam.
Holy crap.
And we built it to go late model asphalt circle track racing.
Yeesh.
And
yeah, you got me beat. I'm thinking, road.
It has Jezel shaft rockers. It has a Chinese big single plane intake on it. And it makes a ton of power, but we raced it 5 nights. All it would do is spin the tires on the circle track. The car couldn't handle the power. And now it's kind of one of those motors that it was purpose built to go circle track racing. And now we're afraid to put it in anything because of that lightweight crank. I'm afraid that if you built, and it had a 390 Holley carburetor on it. So I had a little tiny carburetor because we were limited in the class.
Yeah.
So with the 390, I wasn't worried about the crank. But now if you're going to, yeah, Richard says it's for sale. If you're going to put a big carburetor on it, we're worried that the crank won't survive. And I don't know, it never got dynoed, but we're guessing it was probably between 550 and 600 horse with the little 394 barrel on it.
Yeah, so probably 700 horse with the good
with a
750 or 800,
like a 950.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're guessing 700, 750 with a good carburetor on it.
See, yeah, you're really starving that thing for air.
Yeah, and it had a $1,000 or $1,200 CNS built 390. And how much money was in it? Close to $15,000.
Woo!
And that was a lot of used parts. The rockers were used, the heads were used, the pistons were used.
So what's it in now?
It's in I believe it's in a 55 Chevy. So Richard was going to build this Chevy truck, and he put it in there, and he took it out to test drive it. And with the 390 on it still, remember it still has a 390 on it, he stood on the throttle, and it stood up so much when it hooked up, it pulled the drive shaft out of the transmission, ruined the battery. Richard have to say it tore up everything under the truck.
It's all in the past, Amber. Money don't matter. It's all in the past.
So she says that was back when he was single. Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Country Mile Garage in here. So yeah. Actually, that sounds like a fun motor to have around.
It's healthy. I just wish, and we've talked about, I still have the balance sheet on it, so I could go get a regular crank and have it balanced for the motor and put that in there. I just kind of one of those things that now I don't have anything that I would put a Chevy in now, so I don't really have a lot of use for it.
Put in that Mustang.
I've talked about that actually.
I just got the stink eye for things that just come in the mail today. So,
yeah.
Wait, what are we gearing up for again?
Well, it's the cam gear and the distributor gear for that damn.
Hopefully it's not that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
or the past. I mean. Oh. Okay. Woo!
Yeah, me too.
So I guess okay. Well, my 339 stroker is the most money I've ever put into any engine, and I haven't even heard it got. It's still sitting on a stand and not together yet. But so far, even with all the money, and there's a lot of used parts going into this. Don't know how much. I've never added up what I got into it, but it's way more than what anybody should put into a 305 block. That's for sure. But so far, yes, it's already worth every penny I put into it. I'm excited. I really wish I just had more time to devote to working in the shop because I love building engines. If that's all I had to do, I would love it. If I could make money doing it or somehow make it sustain myself doing that, I would love to do that.
So, and I guess that has to be said too. The reason that one wasn't worth it is just because the way it was built, we never really did. I mean, it's hardly even broke in. It's got 5 nights on it in the car. So,
yeah,
it never really even got used.
Jamie, nope. Mrs. Square Body, she just kind of lets me, I have my play money, and she kind of lets me do what I want to with it. So she doesn't really have much of an idea what I've got into it. And there's been a couple times when I order parts and I say something about I'm spending this much on these parts, and yeah, she kind of gives me a weird look like, oh my gosh, you're putting that much money into pistons? Yeah.
I know that feeling.
I mean, honestly,
for 400.
When you go to buy forged, nitrous ready pistons for a 339 stroker with a 6-inch rod, they're not just everywhere, and they cost a little bit of extra money than what the 383 stroker would cost. Same crankshaft, same rods, just a different block, different bore. Yeah, I probably paid double or more than double for those pistons than what I would for a 383 stroker.
Yeah.
Now, if I would have taken the money that I put in the pistons, just the pistons alone, not the rods, not anything else, just the pistons alone for that little stroker, if I would put that money into the big block parts that I have laying around, yeah, I've been way ahead of the game as far as horsepower. But that's not what it's all about. It's we're having fun with this stuff.
Well, and that's like you said, the intent of the build wasn't to that build wasn't to spend your money to make the most power you could per dollar.
Yeah. No.
If that was the case, you wouldn't have started with the 305.
Exactly. It's just been a build of why not? Let's have fun with it. Let's see, because everybody hates the 305. It's not. It's definitely not what I want to build it, but I'm a big block guy. I love big blocks, but as much as I love big blocks, I guess I kind of like small cubic inch, small blocks too, because you're starting out with less to see what all you can get out of. It's two different worlds.
Yeah.
That's why, I've also got another engine sitting on a stand I've talked about before, this little 283 that I'm going to be working on for Streetcar Chronicles to put in his 55 gasser he just bought. Possibly we're talking about building a 302 out of it. So we'll see how that goes. We actually just talked to them today about that. They're going to probably bring a block up for me to work on, and we'll see how that goes. But hey, Dudes with Wrenches is in here. What's going on, Dudes with Wrenches? Yeah, 15K and a K20. Yeah.
Way out of my budget. My old lady saw the receipt from my Keith Blacks that are in that 455.
Yeah. Yeah. See, building the 455, you're kind of along the same lines as building the Stroker 305. That stuff's just not.
So that's what I'm running into. I've got this 400 that I picked up when I was in Colorado, and I just want to put forged pistons in it with the stock, everything else, keep the bottom end stock. Nobody makes stock stroke pistons for that motor. All you can find is stroker pistons for it.
Really?
I got to the point where I was digging through the catalogs, looking at compression height, seeing if I could mix up some rods, and I can't make a combination. I can make an 8-to-1 combination with some 440 pistons in there, but that's not going to work.
I mean, I guess technically I could have probably the most expensive engine out of all of us that's been built. I built a 3406E Caterpillar.
Well, yeah,
that's big.
But I didn't just use regular old parts. I mean, it's got the best you could get from Cat. It was and that we won't even get. That's $35,000.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little different ball game there.
But no, the 455 cost me the most. Probably second was I had built a 460 back in the day, and that's what I had in my Fox body back in the early 90s. And back then, it wasn't like you could just pop on eBay and get whatever. It was all God, what were they? What pistons did I put in that? I can't even remember now. I got it in a scrapbook somewhere, but it wasn't sealed power. It was something else. But that's what it was back then. You had sealed power. You had
is it TRW?
TRW.
That's it. That's
the pistons I have in the 440 TRW stock replacement forged pistons.
Yeah, that's what I put in it. Because it was a truck motor and it was low compression, and I just kind of upgraded her a bit. I don't even remember what cam I put in. It was a crane cam because that's all I ever used was crane. But that one cost me a bunch too. But even back then, I had it bored for $6 a hole.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck with that nowadays.
Now it's like $30 a hole, and you got to wait 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude's Caterpillar equals all the money. It's exactly
all
right.
of it.
Yes.
That's my old truck was a Detroit. That thing, $6,000 built, ready. Got better fuel mileage too.
Yeah, that was what my truck. I had a Detroit in my last truck that I owned. I built many a cats when I had the shop.
Pretty easy, really.
Yeah, I mean, they're like everything else, just nuts and bolts. You just got to put them in the right order, get them tight enough. That's the challenge on a diesel, getting them tight enough.
And no matter what you do, I'm telling you right now on a Caterpillar, the C15 3406E, no matter what you do, the timing cover is going to leak.
Yeah.
The front cover is going to leak. You can't do. Caterpillars fix in their manual is the thing. It's almost like this squirt out JB Weld you put down the edges to keep it from leaking.
That's their that's
literally
the
their fix. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dudes with wrenches, back in the day, $700 to get you, your block completely machined, ready to go. But that ain't the case nowadays. That's for sure.
No. Minimum wage was $3.70 back then too. So we're still taking just as long to build the engine, but now we think I'm making better money. No, it's not.
But yeah, I mean, my machine shop, they done me a good solid. They didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't charge me everything they could have charged me to do my machining on it. I mean, I kind of got in the know with some of them, and their boring machine or the honing machine, he said they put a really sweet hone job on this engine for what they say. Stuff that they put on their 30, 40, 50, their high-end racing engines. He said they spent the time, put a nice hone job on this 305 for me, even though it's just a 305, because they knew what I was going to try to do with it. And that's the coolest thing about my machine shop. I love them to death. Hood's Performance in West Plains, Missouri. If you're in the area or if you're not in the area, they do stuff for people all over the country. But all the years I've dealt with them, it's mainly just been run-of-the-mill stuff. Nothing. This is the most high performance thing I've ever brought to them, and it's a 305 block. And every time I go in there, they were on board with the build from the word go. They thought it was awesome, and they always treat me like I'm spending $100,000 with them every time I go in there. They don't care.
Awesome.
I'll walk in there just to check on whatever's going on or just hang out, and they'll basically just drop everything and just hang out with me. And it's really cool to have a place like that in this day and age, because everything has gone to, you go to your local auto parts store. I don't know where it is. Our local auto parts store used to be, you'd go in there and just hang out.
Yeah.
Now I avoid that place unless I absolutely just have to have something, because it's like, they don't know anything.
No.
They don't care.
They're just
there to get their paycheck. And, it's just, there's not the same vibe there. So to go in a machine shop, and have that same old school vibe that we used to get, all these years, it just to go in there and hang out. I don't have any problem. I'll walk in there being a nobody. To me, I'm a nobody going in there because I don't spend a bunch of money with them. I'll just walk behind the counter. I'll grab they got a box. They got a box full of stickers. And they know that's where I'm going to head, because I'll grab that box of stickers and start going through their box. I'll have their whole counter full of stickers, just going through all their stickers. and they love it. They don't care.
I grew up in the local parts store.
Yeah.
Big one. My dad was there 50 years. He was counterman of the year for like 20 years straight.
Yeah.
For like counterman's, I don't know, United Auto, whatever kind of union it was. And it was really like that. They had, the seats all in front of the counter, and there's always
the stools.
Sitting now there's no stools in that place. There's no nothing. Get in there and get the hell out.
Yeah. And used to, you'd walk in there, even when it got to be the no smoking policy, you'd walk in there and there'd be the old timer sitting there with a cigarette in their mouth. They'd have a special ashtray just for those guys that they'd set out on the counter when they walk in, because they were not going to tell these old timers that they couldn't smoke in their, even though it was against I don't know if it was laws or what, but they weren't going to tell them that they couldn't smoke in there. They had an ashtray that they bring out for them. And dudes with wrenches here, the old machine shop in the back. I remember the smell from when I was a kid. Our local auto parts store where I grew up. I go in there with Dad, and I just remember the smell of it. And I'd get to go back in the back with Dad and the machinist and everything, and hang out. And just being a little kid, they had the old soda pop machine that had the glass bottles.
Yeah,
and I love that. And I'd bug Dad a little bit, and Dad's like, whatever. One of the guys would throw a quarter at me or whatever it cost. He said, "Here, go get you a soda, boy." So because they love to watch me just play around with that soda machine. They always had a big dog in there to hang out with. It was just good times.
Talk about how it's not the same anymore. I went to my local O'Reilly to see about getting some brake drums turned. And I asked them, I asked them if they could turn drums, and they're like, "Well, we have the machine." I'm like, "Okay, well, what's it cost?" They're like, "Well, honestly, nobody here knows how to turn drums. All we know how to turn is rotors." And I asked them if I could use the machine and show them how to turn drums, and they wouldn't let me.
Yeah, that
was my job when I was 10.
The smell, the dim lighting, the smell of grease, and men enjoying doing their job. That's what goes through my mind when I think about that.
Yeah.
Well, you hit the nail on the head earlier. They just don't care anymore.
Yeah, they don't.
They're just there to punch buttons on the computers and try to find the part when they get the number off of it.
Yep. See, I went to my local O'Reilly's, which I've been doing business with for 30 some years. Go in there, and I'm not in there every day. I don't spend thousands of dollars a week with them. But I go in there, and I'm talking to the manager. I said, "Hey, I need give me 10 foot of 5/8 heater hose." He just kind of looks at me like I've got, I'm speaking German or something. He's like, "Well, I don't think we have." This is the manager. He's like, I don't think we carry that. Like, you don't have it on a spool in back of 5/8 heater hose? No, we'll have to special order that in for you. I was like, well, I'll just grab the 6-foot roll you have in the bags out here out front. Oh, I didn't even realize we had that. This dude's the manager, and he's been at that store for probably 5 years.
And guaranteed they have a roll of hose in the back. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, he's just too late. He's just too lazy to even go back there.
And I don't know if it's the same at your O'Reilly, but my experience in Colorado, I haven't really dealt with it much here, is see if you can get hooked up with the guy in the commercial department in the back. They're usually a lot better than the people out front.
No, we don't have that in our O'Reillys.
Oh.
Yeah, Bub said the guy at Sykeston in O'Reilly's was cool. I tell you what, at Sykeston, I was even in my situation I was having, the guy at all places. What's the other one? Advanced? Yeah. He's the one that set me up to actually make me, get me to the burnout contest. He just brought out every box of U-joint straps they had from the back and said, "Here you go. Find what you need. She'll check you out. Go get some bolts, whatever you need." He said, "Here it is. Just leave it here. I'll sort it out whenever you guys get done. Just leave it all out." And it's like, that's what I'm talking about. That's old school stuff. That's what I appreciate.
So I went to O'Reilly. It wasn't the one in Sykeston. It was the one in, I don't remember, another town, Cape, and to get a U-joint. And I told him I've got this drive shaft, this rear end, and I need a U-joint. I gave him the numbers, and I just knew it was going to be a nightmare. This guy looks at me for a second, says, "All right, I'll be right back." Goes in the back and brings a actual paper book out and starts looking through the book. and matches everything up that I told him and got me the right U-joint on the first try. I was dumbfounded.
See, and to the credit of my local O'Reilly's that I've dealt with for all these years, I can't stand the manager, but when I went in there just a couple weeks ago to get U-joints for Squeaky. Now, I've messed with these square body trucks for almost all my life. I should know the U-joint numbers by heart, but I don't. There's this stuff don't stay in here. So I go in there, and it's a new kid. I mean, just might as well either be in high school or just out of high school. And I'm not putting down anybody because of their age. I'm like, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna see what he can do. And I had the old U-joints with me. I said, I need these 2 U-joints. I said, do you want to know what they're out of, or do you want to measure them? He looked at me. He looked under the counter, grabbed the calipers, and started measuring, and grabbed the book. I'm like, this guy's going places.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
This guy's he's figuring it out already. I'm like, all right, And at that point in time, I was willing to sit there and let him figure it out.
Yes.
As long as it took him to figure it out and do it right. That meant more to me than saying, well, I don't know, And then once he's like, okay, he looked up the number, he went back, grabbed a box, come out with the precision box. I'm like, do you happen to have spicers? He's like, oh, yeah, hold on just a minute. He went back there, got the spicer box. He started looking. And I said, now I'm gonna ask a really good question. You wouldn't happen to have non-greasable spicers? And there's another guy another customer sitting there like, boy, you don't ask for much, do you? I said, no. I said, I'm just joking. I said, I know you're not going to have the non-greasable heavy duty ones. Just find what you got there. And boom, right off the bat, because he measured, he figured out what he was doing. I gave him the time to do it. He learned it. Got me both my U-joints exactly what I was needing right off the bat. And it was great.
That's how my local O'Reilly's is now. The manager's been around parts his entire life. The woman that I go in there and talk to, Melissa, she's a little bit older than me. She's in her 50s somewhere, but she grew up around cars and parts in Denver, Colorado. Or not Denver, what's that other big town? I can't remember what.
Colorado Springs?
Colorado Springs. And she works at the O'Reilly's, and I'll walk in there like I walked in there with just a nasty U-joint for that ambulance, And I said, here you go, Melissa. She gets out the caliper, starts looking, pulls out a spicer book, starts going down them because she knows I'd rather use spicer than anything. So she just started going down. She goes, it's this one right here. And she was right. It was right on the money. I mean, you don't see that. My dad was the guy at the parts store running around talking to 2 different customers on 2 different phones. Somebody would come in, he'd have 3 books open, holding them with his fingers like this. And somebody'd come up and say, John, I need this right here. Hey, hold on a minute, damn it. And he'd bitch at him. And then he'd put the phones down. Oh, God damn it. And he'd put his phone down. He'd run to the back. Didn't look for nothing. Knew exactly what the guy needed when he said it.
Yeah.
I need this PCV valve, PVC valve or whatever for such and such a 1975 AMC Matador or whatever the hell it was. All right, give me 1 second. He'd run right back, grab it off the shelf, run up there and check him out. He wouldn't look it up. He would. He knew exactly what. Of course, you really can't do that nowadays. Everything's.
Well, yeah, because the same PCV valve was used in about every make, model, and brand there was back in the day. Nowadays it's especially if certain makes of vehicles, you have to have the first name of the third child of the guy that assembled this part. Not put the part on the vehicle, but assembled the part. At the plant. I
just got a new one for that Javelin because I was going to put it in anyway, and I had to special order it. I've never seen one like this ever. I'll have to get it next time I see you guys. I'll show it to you. It's not like your normal, the chrome whatever or anything you'd ever seen before. It is solid iron, and it goes down and has an elbow. Solid iron. And you shake it, it barely moves. I had no idea. I ain't been around that many AMCs, but I know it's bad because the whole carb and everything was full of oil. So,
yeah. Anybody want to get in on this live? Here's the link. Quality Control is taking care of us, putting the link up there. So, because I'm not smart enough to post it and pin it at the top, but she's taking care of us, putting it in here randomly. So jump in on a live if you want to. Everybody see your pretty face.
Talking about PCV valves. So when I put the fuel system together on the truck, we always ran a PCV valve as kind of like a rollover valve on the fuel cell.
Yeah.
I just went and got just standard PCV valve that was used on everything, but this one had a little plastic elbow on it. Well, when I was going from the original little fuel cell that I had to the bigger fuel cell, I was messing with that PCV valve. It didn't work like that. You couldn't blow air through it either way. The little plastic elbow that was on the top of it was completely plugged up. So I think maybe so when I was originally running the truck with the small fuel system, I thought I was having an high RPM problem with the motor or something. I think what the problem the whole time is it was starving for fuel because it was pulling a vacuum on the fuel cell.
Yeah.
So that's I guess the quality control problem these days with car parts. It's something as simple as an elbow and a PCV valve. You wouldn't think you could screw that up, but they did.
Yeah. Don't get Jay started on quality control and especially carburetors because
I'm telling you right now, I got to get all my videos caught up when I built Blanche and all that stuff. But Amber's driving around today. Yesterday, we took it for its longest drive. That's that little short I made. Had all the parts in the back of the car. Her mom's neighbor had a 76 Ranchero he's going to scrap. And he said, come down and get all the parts you need. I said, okay. So I went down there and grabbed a fender. I got brand new bedsides. I got, you name it. I got it. So we took it. It's 20 miles, 25 miles. Didn't miss a lick. You know why? Because I took the Edelbrock off of the Javelin and put it on there. Took off. There were no problems, no adjustment, no nothing. It just took off. It has a little bit of hesitation, but I ain't adjusted the what you call it yet. But runs like a top. Just like that. And I just whatever, I give up. I'm just done. But no, the parts today, man, when I grew up, we would go get parts with the owner of the company would take me, my dad, and his son. We would go to Detroit, Michigan and other places and pick up Borg Warner, AC Delco, Motorcraft, good quality stuff. And it was expensive, but it was good quality. That crap, the electrical parts crap they sell at AutoZone, garbage. Hell, even some of that stuff that O'Reilly's has is just, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
They're not built the same.
Yeah. Ignition control modules. I'm about to run out of them, but ignition control modules, I would rather run one that has a GM stamp on it from an unknown, who knows when.
Yep.
Out of the parts box that I've got. And I'd rather run it than go to the store and buy a new one because the new ones, they're not going to last. I've never had good luck with the ignition control modules. Ryan, why don't you jump in here live with us? It'd be easier than typing. I know how your fat fingers work like mine. I'm trying to type. Just jump in here live with us, Ryan.
The other one is stay away from the Excel module. I've been through a bunch of them things like nothing. That Mustang of mine's been through 2 of them.
Yeah.
they're just not that big super coil thing's awesome, but the module,
yeah,
it ain't worth a damn.
See, I tried. I bought 2 of those Hypertronic, or they're rev limited ignition control module for the HEI distributors, and out of the box, everything, they work great, easy to adjust, work great, good hot spark when you start up, starts easier, runs better, all that stuff. And I had one in cream puff, my 79, for a while, and every once in a while the truck would act like it was just it would just die out, like it's actually acting like it's starving for fuel. Which I've had the same situation happen before, that the carburetor would frost over. The idle circuit would frost over, because I've got ram air set up on it, so it's pulling fresh air when it's really cold. It would just frost over. So I'd shut it off and then start right back up. Okay. Well, finally it died one day, just died. Wouldn't start, wouldn't do nothing, no spark. Like crap. So I went through my box of distributors, found one that had a GM stamp on the control module, stuck it in there, and that's the one that's still in there a year later. But, I just don't have good luck with aftermarket ignition control modules.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does. I know I've got at least 2 or 3 spares, because I switch all my cars to HEI. I don't care what it is. It'll have an HEI. I don't want to deal. I get crap. Well, it had a points in it when you bought it, right? Like the Javelin. Yeah, it sure did. Well, don't you know how to? Yeah, I sure do. But why? I don't have to.
Why? There's a reason. There's a reason why they, in the 70s, they went to the HEI setup, because it's better.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like me throwing that video. I chuck out a distributor and all the crap out of that Duraspark system, and these are work great. And you see me throw it in the trash about as hard as I can do. Which those actually do, in a stock formation, they actually produce more energy through the system, but they also melt, get all over your frame, leave you stranded, I'm not a big fan of those. I never have been.
Reloading fun. Any guesstimates on the horsepower will be the 305 stroker? Oh, well, I would like to see around 400 horsepower. And I've talked to my machinist. It's got the dyno. They've dynoed and built. They've built several of these 339 strokers before. So they kind of know about what I'm doing, what I've got going into it. And I said, am I stretching my imagination or my hopes trying to look for 400 horse out of this? And he said probably close. He said you may be over, maybe under, but that's a really good. That's a good number to shoot for, without shooting for the moon. So I'm kind of hoping for around 400 horse, naturally aspirated.
Wow.
And then,
but
I think it's like a pissed off beehive too.
Yeah, it's gonna spend a few more RPMs than what this big block does, and this big block that's in this truck, probably 375 horse if I was to guess, but it's at a much lower RPM. That small block's going to really start waking up where this big block kind of planes out. Just on the torque curve and RPM and everything, it's just going to be a whole different graph there between the two. Even if they made the exact same horsepower number, like I was saying earlier, a 400 horse small block or LS versus a 400 horse big block, your RPM, your graph on a dyno sheet and the graph on your butt dyno is going to be completely different.
Yes.
Yep. I built a 327 back in the day for a derby driver with 305 HO heads. We didn't go crazy on a lot of stuff, just regular flat tops, stock rods, all that stuff. And I tell you what, it had those Schofield, the right out through the hood headers and all that stuff. And we got it running, all that stuff, and it just sounded so good. Well, then you get to the Derby, and everybody else is running 318s, 360s. There's some 350s out there, even some 307 olds for some reason. But you heard that 327, you knew which car that 327 was in. I mean, it just sounded like it was 9,000 RPMs, just like a bunch of pissed off bees all at once, and flames just popping out of the, I couldn't believe it. I was just a sound difference of them,
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of just at No Name Nationals when Russell with Outfits Garage had his dirt track car out there on a drag strip. It's like I didn't even have to see what was going down the drag strip. I knew that was a circle track car. That was that thing just had a whole different sound to it, and it was a 327. They just have a different sound to them.
What are you, Obi-Wan Chronicles?
Yeah.
I'm fucking just got off the flu. Chronicles. I'm trying to keep my ears from my ears get too cold. That's when I start getting sick. I'm naked as a jaybird from the waist down right now outside the garage.
Hey, this is the after hour show. Pants are optional.
That's right. That's what you said. I got flip flops, no pants, and a sweater on.
Yeah.
I've been wearing the sweater for 5 days, so it's great.
Starting to get gaming.
Yeah, my beard's as stiff as a board.
Amber's peeking her head around the corner trying to see who the hell I'm married to tonight.
Got a pretty motley crew now.
Yeah. I apologize for showing up, folks.
Oh no.
In advance. So what are you guys doing?
No, just discussing stuff and things,
Stuff and things. Travis, what do you got going on up there, man? I say up there because you're up there.
It's like the Brady Bunch.
This week is family visiting time. Both my daughters are here. So
right on.
Not doing a whole lot, just the Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah. So what's on the main course for the great day of thanks, gentlemen?
Honestly, we decided we're not going to do a regular Thanksgiving. Everybody's going to make their favorite meals. So we're going to have biscuits and gravy for breakfast. We're going to have, what is Haley making? Ratatouille for lunch, and then we're going to have green chili sloppers for dinner.
Nice. Chad, what are you guys going to cook?
We're not cooking anything. We're just going to go to a restaurant and have lunch.
Brilliant.
No, probably not Chinese. I think we're going to just a regular diner.
Nice. Well, what about you, Irish? What are you cooking?
I ain't cooking shit.
Damn. Am I the only one that's cooking?
We'll go to her mom and dad. They have a big.
Oh yeah, you're
don't forget the pie. Yeah, the pie. Well, you don't forget pie. My wife. I'm gonna put it out here live for all. Well, there's 4 of us here and 10 watching. For all 14 of us, my wife promised me her pumpkin pecan pie. So, if she don't hold up to it, she's got witnesses.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes, it's like pecan pie and pumpkin pie all mashed into one, and then the whipped cream on top. Oh my gosh!
It sounds like some kind of pie somebody would make after an acid trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, hey man, I got an idea. Let's make some tie-dye t-shirts and smash some pies together.
Yeah. While we watch the pink elephants out in the
Far
field.
out, man. Well,
See
I'm
you,
smoking.
Country Mile.
I'm
See you later,
smoking
Country Mile.
23-pound bird for 4 people.
So you've been eating turkey for a month.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
always big to do, and it's just me, the kids, her, and her mom, and my mom occasionally whenever she's not being a psychopath. Because you can't get all 3 of them in the same fucking room at the same time. It's like trying to wish Joe Biden would choke on a fucking piece of popcorn. So the holidays are always good for me. So I usually buy the biggest goddamn bird I could find. So I got to stay outside smoking that fucker all day long.
Yeah.
And then when I bring it in, I cut it up and I'm like, there you go, everybody eat. But I've already had about 13 Miller Lights and Coors Lights or Dos Equis or whatever's in the fridge. So I'm pretty lit. And then, I can tolerate whatever the hell's going on in the house. And I sit down and watch football in a daze. And when everyone leaves, I usually fall asleep. It's great. Lovely. Can't wait. It's the most wonderful time.
No, that's Christmas. Yeah, that's Christmas. But this year, Ryan, remember, I don't know if you've seen it. Buff's Garage is going to have a Thanksgiving Day live. See,
now that's pretty cool.
And I think Buff's Garage is going to have live, and also Ugly Truck Experience. There's 2 people, if I remember right.
Yep, and Buff's having Steve Maggs on.
Yeah, he's going to have Steve Minotti or whatever his name is.
Magnotti.
Yeah.
Are they doing that at night?
I don't remember the time, but it's actually in the afternoon, I think.
Sweet.
So go check out Buff's Garage for Thanksgiving Day. Whenever you're filling your pie hole full of food and bored with the family, you can watch Buff's Garage or Ugly Truck Experience. I think they're going to have a Thanksgiving Day live also.
So now it makes me wonder: should I premiere the Wheelie Truck Experience on Turkey Day after the lives?
Should you get it? I don't know.
You could say somebody else.
My wife told me to listen to you, Chad. And now I'm starting to think we should rethink the Turkey Day thing. I mean, let's take a poll. Who's going to be indisposed and can't be YouTubing on Turkey Day evening?
I can bring the computer down, I guess.
Look at you.
The death look.
Yeah.
His wife's over there going, "You mother, I will fuck you as soon as you're off camera."
Hey, Blake, the link to the live is here somewhere in the chat. You'll have to go find it because I'm kind of retarded, and there it is.
Jamie. All right, dude, I'll record it. I will. My wife told me to record me cooking last year, and I didn't do it. I'll record
Yes. There's your live, Ryan.
Yeah, go live while you're cooking.
Just go live all day, like 5 hours in. Well, turkey's almost done. Here comes the walls. Hey, look, it's everybody. Love you so much.
You'd have way more watch time hours.
Just go out there and talk to the bird. Let me tell you something, bird. You might have met your demise, but you got a pretty good life going for you. It's not a lot of problems like I got.
We got a lot of common,
Yeah, you're in a shitty situation, so am I. Totally get it.
while you're lathering it down with everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a little more butter on it to help make your life a little better.
Woo, take it. That's good.
What's that? Yeah, the crazy mother-in-law's in the house right now. Shh, come out here.
Come out here. I got it on the big screen inside. What?
Yeah. Hey, everybody, Ryan's live. Let's watch it inside on the big screen. You're out there with your hoodie and no pants on.
No pants on, flip flops. I don't fucking care anymore. Hey, I want to go to a racetrack. I don't want to be here. It's not fun anymore.
Stuff in the cavity. I know this hurts you as much as it does me, but it's got to be done.
It's got to be done. Take it. Just take it.
Now we need J-Bo in here with his colonoscopy.
I just like, oh, let me stuff this in here and just turn around. It's J-Bo's head. Hey. No.
It's a little erotic.
Well, guys, I'm going to get off here because it is absolutely freezing in here, and I don't have a heater. So,
oh, come on, man! All right, Travis. I appreciate you hanging out. We'll be on Travis's channel, Perpetual Projects, next week at 7:00 for the Tailgate Talk live, and then after our show on their channel also. So stay tuned for that.
Propane so we can have a longer live afterwards next week.
Yeah. Bundle up, get some fuel for your heaters, build a fire or something. Smoke your turkey. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I could put a fire on the floor in here. Everything in here is metal, so
yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, man.
Yeah, thank you. You guys too.
All right, take care, Travis. Maybe. There you go.
Well.
Yeah.
Now what?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking we should probably secure that tunnel ram that's up there by you. I'm
down with the sickness. Oh, down BTP is, you know me.
You know me. You down with BTP? Yeah, you know me. You down with BTP? Yeah, you know me. Mm-hmm.
All right,
what's happening, fellas?
You're talking about that tunnel ram. You want me to go ahead and message the guy, see if it's still available and all that stuff?
I think we should do that. I think we should at least secure it because here's the deal. The way I see it is this. I don't have a small block tunnel ram. And even if the guy comes through with the blower stuff for me, the 305 would be pretty killer or the 339 would be pretty killer with a tunnel ram on it. So, I was
kind of thinking that too. Just, might have to get another nitrous plate to stick on there to run dual plates.
No, I got you, man. I'll just send you this one.
There you go.
Yeah, the rear's an NX one. We don't know what the hell it is, but
where'd Blake go?
Where'd Blake go?
I don't know.
Blake. Oh God, he didn't slip into the fourth dimension, did he?
I don't know. He just disappeared.
We start hearing him, but we can't see him. Let's see.
Blake.
Where did you go? I think he was on his phone. His phone might have died, maybe.
Oh, that happens.
Maybe.
So, yeah.
Maybe it's a baby. Yeah, so anyway, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, man, maybe we ought to try to secure it because, I don't know what brand it was. You know what brand it was?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
But I seen it and I'm like, that's a cheap enough price for a small block tunnel ram to just get a hold of and have anyways. Oh.
Yeah.
There
he is. Whoa!
I told you boys worth of shit.
Hey, howdy, partner. How are you?
Y'all out.
I'm doing fine.
Good
How
deal.
y'all?
Good deal. We just over here talking tunnel rams, man. T-rams, for short,
The tunnel rams.
Ramming the tunnels.
Part of the tunnel ram mafia.
Yeah. So I happen to know a guy who has two 450 center squirters. It'd be perfect if it's an inline tunnel ram for a small block.
I need to start just doing Chevys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That right there was $82.
Because like Blake always says, you know, if you need parts for your small block Chevy, just go to the nearest gumball machine. You get your parts out of it.
I always say just go to your local grocery store.
Well, it's kind of an inconvenience during the COVID area.
Yeah.
You know, they have the arcade shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is rough.
I can feel their struggle.
I'm digging that hat.
Wore it to a Reba McEntire concert.
Well, I can tell. It's only been worn a couple times, and that's all right, man.
Well, my daughter's got a hold of it. Got her all bent.
Yeah, put a little steam to her.
Woo! I think they watched an episode of Speedy Gonzales, and they were dancing around it.
Arriba, yeehaw! I mean, did that even get canceled like Pepe Le Pew, did it?
Pretty much.
Probably. All that stuff did.
It's like you can go to HBO Max to have all the Looney Tunes stuff on. You can't watch any of that. You
can't on YouTube. I once, just last year, like Animaniacs. I always liked Animaniacs.
Oh, yeah.
And there's somebody who has all seasons of Animaniacs. You can watch every one of them back to back.
Yeah.
I have the original orange VHSs of the real Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, yeah.
The good ones.
Ren and Stimpy.
With huge pectoral muscles.
Powder toast, man.
Ren and Stimpy's almost like the child's version of Beavis and Butthead.
Pretty much.
God.
Oh, my favorite game from Ren and Stimpy was Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence.
Yeah. I know that whole damn log rolls down pears on over the pears, rolls over your neighbor's dog. It's good for his back. It fits on your back. It's a log.
Those are the greatest, man.
I want to stand here and talk to my magic nose goblins.
You know, now that I'm an adult, I kind of go back and think that Jay would sit there and he'd watch this kid's cartoon with me. And I always thought it was kind of odd. But until I became an adult, and I'm like, well, man, there's some stuff in here that was going way over your head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I never realized in Animaniacs that the three pigeons that were the good feathers were play on Goodfellas.
Yeah.
I never realized that. And one of them was one's always getting mad, going, all right, that's it. And he's Joe Pesci. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the big fat pigeon is the Godfather.
Yeah.
I'm like, get out of here, you know? You never knew it when you were a kid, but it was awesome. Then I found that, and I found a guy who has pretty much all the Foghorn Leghorns. And me and the kids sit down and watch that stuff. I say, boy. Dude, that was just a common voice in my head when I was a kid. But there's some, after watching that, I'm like, I kind of get there's some innuendos in there.
Yeah, the other one that they canceled out was Yosemite Sam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, biscuits is burning.
I say, boy. It's funny stuff.
The old popular Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. It's duck season.
Yeah. It's Wabbit season. Yeah.
Still got it, huh?
Yeah, you getting better though, aren't you? That shit help?
I just got done doing the antibiotics.
Yeah.
And I stopped smoking about 4 days ago.
Good.
Yep. All
dedication. Oh, that's better.
Well, I used to always chew. I never smoked except for this last year and a half.
Yeah. I just smoked a brake clean and it went away.
Snorted brake clean?
Had that, and I played last weekend, and me and the guitar player that was sitting in with us, he liked Jack Daniels, and apparently he thought I did too. So I was doing him shot for shot with my Budweiser, and I think that cold said, I'm out of here. I'm done.
Yeah. That's usually my trick for it.
On Friday, they get to do a stress test, and in my imagination, that just means we're doing a 50 Cent music video. Got all the wires hooked up to me on the treadmill, doing some upside down sit-ups. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I just try to stay away from doctors. They tell me bad things I don't want to hear. And it's always the same thing. Quit smoking.
I went to the doctor.
Else, give me one vice.
Yeah, I went to the doctor for my flu diagnosis this weekend. I was like, oh, geez, I hate going here. And they're like, okay, let's check your blood pressure. I'm like, fuck, do we have to do that shit? I'm under duress here. Okay. It's been a long day. I've been working. I'm tired. I'm sick.
Drank 5 Red Bulls.
I've already had 17 Red Bulls a day. And then, and so they checked it and they're like, I'm like, and I'm a smoker and I'm a dipper and I'm fat and I just had a bunch of snacks, and they're like 118/80. I'm like, I don't need you bastards.
You need to check your equipment.
The last time I was that low. I'm on the pills that make you pee every 20 minutes,
Yeah. They checked that out and they're like, sweet, good deal. I was like, sweet, no stress test, no cholesterol test. We're good.
Wow.
My blood pressure was good, but my x-ray was cloudy or some shit.
Yeah.
So I thought I had pneumonia for sure.
Huh.
Yeah, it seemed like you did.
But they said it was an upper lung infection and an upper respiratory virus or some shit. It feels like I got it shook. I just need to not talk so I can get my voice back, which
sounds like it's starting to come back. But...
Yeah,
it feels better.
Yeah, you're sounding a little more normal.
I still got that chest pain thing, but
you know what? You know what cures chest pain? Red Bull and beef jerky.
I've been doing that.
Yeah, well, teriyaki beef jerky.
Oh, okay.
Extra salty. You know what I mean?
Once I thought I got over all that crap, I got home one night and I first got sick after I was on your live. I was out in the garage working on my engine.
Yeah.
By the time I got inside, about 45 minutes later, I was over. I don't remember from that point all the way. I woke up at 1:30 in the afternoon. It was bad. And then I got through my gig and I felt a little better, but then my eyes started itching. I was like, what the hell? So I washed it out and everything. Next day, that night, I had that conjunctivitis, man. Like my whole eyeball just closed off and it looked like a river whenever you break it loose. Like, what the hell's going on? I had pink eye and all kinds of.
You look like a farm kitten.
Pretty much. Well, then I'm reading how damn, how you can spread it pretty easy. And I'm like, oh, man. I go in and I high five Zeppy when I go to bed and all this is great. All of you are getting pink eye now.
That's right. I didn't fart in your pillows either. Not J-Bo.
See, J-Bo.
J-Bo was in here?
Yeah, yeah.
He's just been a silent partner, apparently. I didn't realize he's still in here.
I don't like it when you're on your phone, it just overlays the chat over everything.
Yeah. I'm going to probably hop off here. I just want to hop in and say, hey, I got to get my butt in there and take my medicine so I can finish my men tomorrow.
If Jay's up at 9 o'clock, he ain't got to be up early. He's lying.
Jay, are you lying?
Got to be up early. Yeah. I heard that before.
Right.
7 hours later, we're discussing colonoscopies.
Hey.
Yeah.
No, it's Jason's garage. What's up, man?
Jason's garage showed up.
What's up, man?
We're just kind of hanging out. Not a lot going on. Nothing. Just hanging out.
I want to show you something. Look how horrible this looks without a tunnel ram on it.
I know it looks kind of tiny. Well, not
Where'd
really.
the motor go?
Huh?
Where'd the motor go?
It's there.
Part of it.
Yeah. Ugh.
It'll be all right. Get a piece of cardboard to cover over the hole in the hood.
Okay. I got it fixed.
Oh,
it's fixed.
Jason's garage just had a live. Goodness.
Hey.
My apologies.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that's something I've been realizing is like there's a lot of us that are like the lives and everything cross over, and if you try to, it's hard to schedule. If you really want to try to not jump over anybody, it's hard to schedule anything. So it's just, yeah, we just got to do what we got to do.
Do it when you want to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to hop off, guys. Y'all have a great night.
All right. Thanks for jumping in, Ryan.
You bet, gentlemen. I'll see y'all later.
Get to feeling better.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Later.
Safe.
Wait a minute. God damn.
There it is.
Third time's charm.
Yeah. Finally got it.
Oh, I gotta help my dog out quick.
Hey, Brad Cohen. This is a cousin of mine over in Tennessee. This is the first time I've seen him on my live. Probably the
first time I've seen him too.
Yeah, first. This Brad is he's a first cousin of mine, and probably I haven't seen him in probably like 3 years, but he's probably the closest relative I've got. He's probably closer to me than my own brother is, that's for sure. But jump in here. I don't know if you can go live or anything, Brad. If you want to go live, there's it's in the comments somewhere. You have to look for the link because I'm not smart enough to post it. There's the link. Go to Quality Controls deal. There's the link to get into live. If anybody else wants to get in on the live, jump in here. I'll probably be on here for another 40 minutes or so. I got to get off here about 10 o'clock because I got to get ready to go to work. Oh, you live in Idaho now. Didn't know that. I didn't know you moved. That's how long it's been since I've seen you.
Probably eats a lot of potatoes.
I was gonna say, great shoestring potatoes in that state. I heard.
What? You doing some potato farming up there?
Canadian potato farmer.
Canadian potato farming.
Oh, don't you know up here in Idaho?
I don't know if Idahoans have the same accent as the Minnesotians do, or don't you know?
Well, they touch Canada, don't they? Close enough.
I think so. Maybe.
The tip.
Yeah, just the tip.
Like,
yeah.
Going through all the people I know that are power tour folks, seeing if that are like, way up in there, the ones that do it every year, YouTubers, and they're like trying to figure out if any of their sponsors have kind of told them where it's possibly going to be.
Yeah.
Because I'm not putting all of us in that goddamn Ranchero. We tried that yesterday. Ain't no way I'm riding that close to anybody for 2,000 miles. I had me, Zeppelin, and Amber in that thing, and it was, nope, this ain't happening. I ain't doing this because Zeppy wants to take that car on power tour. And I'm like, well, it'll be me and you. Mom, stay home.
Yeah. 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I want to do one of these days, a power tour or drag and drive, something like that. But I do know if I do that, if I do a power tour or something like that, if I take Squeaky, I'm definitely going to have to set up a different rear end for him because these 488s, even with these big tires, 55 miles an hour is around 3,000 RPM.
Well, there's Ricky Jarre from Jarre Racing. He notified me about Sick the Magazine and Sick Week, their drag and drive kind of deal.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to do a deal called Sick Summer, and they have an interest pool right now, and if it gets enough interest, they're going to do it. And it's going to be a drag and drive that starts at my home track.
Oh, really? Okay.
Here, not. Yeah, it does Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. It hits 4 drag strips there. So me and Jeremy and
drag week.
Yeah, we all filled out the interest form and all that stuff. So hopefully it's a go. And I guess if you fill out the interest form, you get first dibs when they announce it.
That's cool. So, yeah,
I didn't know that.
With my work schedule, I have a hard time even thinking about doing anything like that until I make it big on YouTube, and that's all I got to do. But
yeah.
So what's going on, Brad?
It's not a whole lot. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a long time. So you're in Idaho?
Yep, Idaho.
Brad? It's not a whole lot. How are you?
So,
I'm
gentlemen,
doing good. It's been a long time.
Jason's got his browser open.
Yep, Idaho. Somebody's got their browser open. We got feedback.
might be me.
Probably me.
Yep. Somebody's got their browser open. We got feedback.
It's me. I'm a ding dang. I'm sorry. Here we go.
That's all right.
Yay.
I just want to jump in and tell you fellas happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys all enjoy time with friends and family. And yeah, my channel's birthday is today. It's been like 4 years or something. So.
Wow.
But yeah.
Happy birthday, channel. And happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are cool.
Yep. Appreciate that. Appreciate you jumping in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
My first video that I ever did was actually about cars, was on Facebook, and it was on the 19th of this month last year.
Awesome.
And then it was yesterday, a year ago, that I got the original motor in my ambulance running.
That's cool. That ambulance is so cool, man. That is the.
It's kind of sitting right now. I'm having trouble getting it's drivable, but we're having trouble getting the title work on it, because that would have came from the Pontiac factory, but was titled under Superior.
Ah, yeah.
So we're trying to figure out the legal team, and they're trying to figure out if they don't want to just make it titled as a wagon, or if it has to be a Bonneville, but the VIN number has a 90 in it, which is commercial chassis.
So Superior was the chassis builder?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Superior
interesting.
Coach out of Ohio.
That's where we're at in Ohio, yeah.
It was in Dayton, right outside of Dayton.
That's where I'm from, is Dayton.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, yeah, I'm on the east side.
Look at that. You got Ohio, Iowa, and Idaho all in one nice
Yeah,
Illinois, and Missouri.
yeah.
Oh, Iowa, Idaho, and Ohio. That's like some joke.
Oh, is that Superior? Is that where they build like the presidential vehicles, like the bulletproof cars and stuff? Okay,
Well,
I know that's that.
But they kind of went defunct, and another company bought them. They mostly built buses.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
They had a plant of buses in Louisiana, I think. I did a bunch of research. I got the build sheet stuff, and like the form that you would use to order them. I have that.
That's awesome.
That thing's
cool.
Illinois.
I made a few videos on it when I taped it at No Names, that's for sure. So yeah, it's cool. And the Artemis thing with the whole rocket going up, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll get driven a lot. It's just we want to make sure it's done right. I'm still trying to get a fuel tank for that thing. They want $700 for that.
Holy moly!
And I thought about just getting something smaller and sticking it up in there and be done. But what was it? 3 trips down the track, and I damn near sucked that 10-gallon dry. So I only need a 20-gallon, 24-gallon tank probally.
It's a big old gal, that's for sure.
That's this truck here. I had a 8-gallon fuel cell I bought for it that I never got put in yet, I thought, well, this is going to be my race truck. I'm not going to be doing much with it, not a whole lot of driving with it. But now after No Name Nationals, I've actually been driving it around quite a bit. I'm going to need more fuel than that. So I'm going to take the tank that I pulled out of my rock crawler. I think it's either 25 or 31 gallon tank that's out of my rock crawler, my Blazer, and they'll fit right in here in between the frame rails and everything on the back. So I have plenty of fuel for a drag and drive or drive, because I'm planning on be next summer, next fall. There's a big deal going on in the truck gathering down southern Oklahoma, northern Texas, something like that. And I'm going to drive the truck too.
And do our own drag and drive.
Woman, ain't it?
All get together and make up our own drag and drive. That's for sure. Because there's enough of us, we can do it.
Oh yeah.
Hit a bunch of mom and pop 8 miles.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should check out Volga City Truck Days in Volga, Iowa, Chad. It's a huge event. It's nothing but trucks. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. They got burnout competitions and tug of war competitions and truck stuff.
Yeah. Well, if I drive it that far, I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot of competition. Yeah, we've all seen what happens if I go into any type of competition. Yeah.
Well, our headquarters is only 30 minutes away, so we could fix it.
Well, yeah. But no, I plan on doing some drag and drive stuff. But eventually, hopefully. And just went to town this morning and got this thing registered in the state or license inspected, which it was inspected before. It's been street legal for the last 2 years, but it's never been inspected by anybody official. The guy that used to do all my inspections, I said, hey man, I just bought this truck. All I just need the VI because it's an out-of-state title. I said, all I need is, I just want to get it titled in my name. I'm not going to worry about licensing or anything. I didn't even know if I was going to keep the truck. I just want it titled in my name. He said, well, let's bring the paperwork in and, I'll fill out the paperwork for you. I said, do I need to bring the truck in? Oh, no, don't worry about it. So I brought another one of my trucks in to get it inspected. And he starts filling out all the paperwork and hands me 2 stickers to put on the windshield. I said, here, put this on that other truck. Well, I didn't need an inspection. I just needed it, to get the registration. He's like, but you've got it. It's inspected. You can drive it now. Go get your tags. And it still didn't register in my mind what he did for me because I'm an idiot. I'm like,
we're all about half retarded. It's okay.
Yeah. I was like, I don't need an inspection. I'm not going to be driving it anytime soon. He said, but you can if you want. Just get the tags for it. Your inspection, it's inspected. I'm like, no, I didn't need. And then I find he's like looking at me like, are you dumb? I'm like, oh,
are you slow? What was wrong?
Oh, it finally sunk in what he done. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I gave him a really good tip that day, but
and then that irritates the hell out of me. I'm not used to that life. We just take a title from the courthouse and swap it over. We don't have vehicle inspections.
Yeah, we don't have.
Yeah, we
log control or none of that shit.
We got that racket here in Missouri, and it's a pain. But then today, of course, I took it in. I had to put the front bumper on it because I didn't want any questions about that, and took it in there, and it was a different guy. I've never seen the guy before. I'm like, oh great, here we go. He's going to pick this thing to death. You never know. Which actually, the truck is in mechanically really good shape. There's nothing to really worry about. The right rear turn signal, the plug is kind of wonky, so sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Of course, it worked when I left the shop, but when I got there, it quit working. So I had to. He's like, "Oh, your turn signal ain't working." So I go, "Oh, okay." Well, I jiggled the wire. He's seen it blink twice. Say, "All right." Start signing the paperwork. It didn't pop the hood, didn't jack it up, didn't check anything out. They're supposed to check ball joints. They're supposed to check the VIN on the frame. They're supposed to check, see if it's got the emission system on it, which this truck, kind of a fun fact, for square bodies or even most trucks in the mid 70s, they had the heavy half or Big 10 option on the GM trucks, where they just went over the 6,000 pound rule, and they didn't have to have catalytic converters. This truck didn't have catalytic converters from the factory. It was a Big 10 heavy half. So, but they don't even know anything about that. You have to, if you start discussing that. My insurance company, when I get these old trucks insured, they said, "Well, give me the VIN number." So I read our VIN. So I read it off to them. They're like, "Well, what's the rest of it?" I said, this is before they had this 17 digit.
It only has 13. Yeah.
Yeah. I said it's only got 13 digits. Yeah. That's all it ever came with. Well, I'm gonna need to call you back. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've been down that road. Yeah, I
Fun
tried to get a temporary tag for that Jeep, and they were like, "There's not enough digits in the VIN." I'm like, "This is all it's got. It's a 1973. What do you want me to do?"
Yeah.
There's a fun fact with them silly little SRT4 neons. I got pulled over one time. The cop tried giving me a hassle. This was like 6 years ago, about having no mufflers. And they didn't come from the factory with mufflers.
Oh, really?
Because Chrysler found out that the turbo is considered a muffler because it's part of the exhaust. Yeah. And so it was legal to produce. And I said, if it was legal to hit the road from the factory, then it's.
Yeah.
You know,
that's interesting.
So he's like, okay. And there's guys that type or have it printed off in their glove box and be like, here.
We don't need mufflers where we're going.
That's right. You're going to see some serious shit when this thing hits 88 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Just don't be right behind it. You might get hit by a
They don't mess with me about mufflers here at all. I don't run mufflers on my truck at all. So
really,
yeah, it's got a turbo. So, I mean, I guess maybe that makes it a little bit quieter, but I live in town and people 5 blocks away know when I start my truck.
Yeah.
And they don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our green Dart doesn't have mufflers on it. That cruises around town all the time. Neighbors just thumbs up.
Yeah. I mean, this one might as well not have mufflers, because actually when I was just running like my 16-inch header extensions, and what I've got on there now is 4-foot pipe with 8-inch glass packs. There's not really any difference in the sound. It's a little bit mellower, but.
Is that the one you did the muffler test where you were driving through that park or whatever? That was pretty cool. Whatever that was. Yeah. No,
that was my 79. Okay. It's, but yeah, that was a fun video. That video was a second take. Me and my wife and I, that was one of the first times she actually helped me with any videos. Okay. And we went out down south to where we live, on some back roads, nice scenic route and everything. And they got some turnoffs to where we could stage the camera. She could do the camera driving by. I can't remember exactly what happened, but when I was editing, I think when I started editing the video, I lost half of it.
That happened.
I'm like, oh man,
You're using a GoPro. That's probably, I hate freaking GoPros.
Yeah, and that's part of. I think that was part of
all the time. I know, it drives me nuts.
And so I was like, we're gonna have to do this again. Which the second take was better. It turned out better because I'd had practice. Because I was
that video was good. I liked it.
Thank you. Because I was jacking it up there on the side of the road, switching out mufflers. I had my big heavy leather welding gloves because everything was still scalding hot.
Hotter than anything, yeah.
Yeah, so I was swapping them out, zip screwing everything back in, and then hot shotting back and forth. And
I usually get the thing now where I stop at my local Casey's. We all have Casey's.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
For a mile, like Dollar General.
Out in the middle of nowhere. Dollar Generals and Casey's are just out in the boonies.
Well, that was the damn thing they saw when the Mars lander landed. They come up and there was a Dollar General and a Casey's. I'll pull up that Casey's and they'll all come to the window. Which one you driving today? we heard you pull up, but they all sound the same. And I said, no, they don't. That one's got no exhaust. I'll come up the next day. This one's got glass packs. No, this one's got, the good mufflers on it.
Yeah.
And I pull up there like every other day in a different vehicle. They're like, how many do you have?
A lot.
Yeah, you talk about the Casey's and Dollar Generals being everywhere. My little town, 2,000 people. We got 2 Casey's.
Really?
2 Casey's.
Are they across the street from each other?
Almost. I mean, they might as well be. I mean, it's like half mile apart, Brad?
6 blocks, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's a small town, so you go from one end of town to the other, and you got a Casey's on both ends. And no, I mean, they didn't. The old, what we call the old Casey's, has been Casey's as long as I know. I mean, I think that was probably one of the first Casey's built. And shoot, I remember, Brad's mom worked down there back when we was kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then the new Casey's, the big Casey's, was a different. It was called Pump and Pantry when it was first built, but no, I don't know if it's Pump and Pantry when it was first built, but when I first knew it was Pump and Pantry, then it was sold to Bullseye, and then Casey's bought it. It's like, well, we got 2 Casey's, so there's, my wife, if we order pizza, I have to ask, which Casey's did you order it from? I got to know which Casey's to go to. Because I've done that before. I show up, say, hey, I'm here to pick up my pizza. Like, we don't have a pizza here for you. And I start arguing with them. Like, oh, wait a minute. We got 2 Casey's now. It's at the other one.
Yeah, we got 3 of them within like 4 miles as the crow flies.
Yeah.
2 of them in Prairie du Chien, and then the town that's connected to it, Marquette, has one in it too. And then we got 3 quick trips.
We go up north about an hour from here to a little man-made lake. It's called Indian Lake. And there's this little town we go through, and there's a speedway. The speedway is like the Casey's here,
Yeah.
There's a speedway on either side of the street, like literally across the street from each other. There's 2 of them in this little town. Like, why do you need 2 speedways?
Famous for pizza, though.
Yeah, you can order pizza or whatever, and you'd be like, "Oh shit, I gotta go across the street."
That's the way to corner the market. When it was Pump and Pantry in Casey's, they split the money. Now it's both of them are Casey's. Casey's gets all the money in that town.
And that's what I figured. That must have been something else at one time. But they're literally across the street from each other in this little, and it's only 2 lanes. Like I don't get it. Why is there 2? But yeah, it's crazy. My wife always makes a joke about, oh, there's Speedway. Oh, there's a Speedway.
Yeah.
So,
But Jamie's got a point there. Casey's Pizza, hands down, best pizza in the world.
It is. It's very good pizza. I must agree. Yeah.
If you go to old Casey's, the old Casey's pizza is better than the new Casey's.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're in Kabul, if you're in my town.
Oh yeah.
I would have starved to death if it wasn't for Casey's Pizza.
I know, and like week-old donuts.
Yep.
This one a mile from me. Always order pizza and we'll get it from there. And I went up there one day and they had this new cook, right? He put it through the machine. He was pulling out the pepperoni, man. Just get the pepperoni, greasy ass. Pizza. He's taking a napkin or, like a paper towel and he's putting it down on it, getting the grease off. So what the hell are you doing? He's
That's the good part.
That's all the flavor.
Putting that on there. That's what gives me my silky coat, man.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I had Casey's Pizza for supper tonight. Yeah, it's good stuff. Brad down there is my cousin, and when we were growing up, I'd go visit him and his mom, and she worked at the Casey's, and going there, that was awesome because we had leftover pizza, we had all the donuts we could eat. They may be a little bit dry and old, but man, she'd bring home all the good stuff. It was awesome.
You remember riding around town throwing them on everybody's cars?
Yeah. It's probably old Red the Pinto, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was.
Yeah. Or what was the Granada's name?
I broke.
Yeah. Because she had the red, the Pinto, then she had the Granada after the Pinto, right?
Yeah, and then she had to break back out the Pinto because the Granada broke.
Yeah.
So,
I remember, man, that's some good memories because it was just a worn out POS red Pinto wagon.
Yeah, ugly.
But that was old red, and she would talk to that car. I mean, and it would listen to her. We get going down the road, it starts shimmying. Oh, Red! She'd start beating the dash. Get that out, Red! Quit your shimmying, and then it's probably straighten back out and keep on going.
It was Bob the Wonder Car. Wonder if it was going to start. Wonder if it was going to go. Wonder if it was going to make it there. Yeah, those were the best, though. I mean, look at the stuff we drive now. It's
yeah. Oh, that Pinto, it was so bad. I remember one place. It's not huge hills, not huge at all, but she would have to downshift into second gear, and then sometimes she'd have to hit first gear to make the top of the hill when she started out doing like 65, 70.
Yeah.
It was a rolls Canarly. Rolls down one hill, Canarly make it up the next.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good times,
we
man.
all had those cars, yeah.
My dad had a 86 Ford Ranger with that 2.0 and the 5-speed or whatever it was. And when my Mustang was down, I'd drive that. And one of the best mechanics I ever met in my life was my dad. But his car, he didn't give a damn. The one that he drove himself. And it's just a little POS Ford Ranger. No stereo, no nothing. Barely had a heat. It was just terrible. But the valve seals were so bad in this thing, and the carburetor would leak into the cylinders when it was just sitting. The pressure would just go in, needle and seat's bad. It was so bad when you start, you push the clutch in, and you get it going, and you had to keep it turning. So fire to get all the oil and the fuel burning up before it would start running on all 4 cylinders. You'd hear him every morning.
It was a gas.
All 4 of them. Every 4 of them.
Yeah. It was bad. I ended up rebuilding that motor for him, put it back in there, and then he sold it. I said, "What's the matter, Dad? It run too good?" Oh, I'm gonna try something else.
You didn't have to pump her as many times to get her started.
I think Grandpa had that little blue Pinto or Bobcat or something like that.
Well, you could sell it for more once it was running.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it was. I learned to drive on a Ford Courier, drive a stick. I was 13 or 12 or 13.
Yeah, Grandpa had the little blue Ford Pinto, the hatchback Bobcat, or what do they call them? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Runabout,
yeah.
The Mercury was a Bobcat, yeah.
Yeah, and he had probably 2,000 pounds worth of tools in the back. He had overload springs on that, like a 1-ton truck.
Yep.
He had the tools in that thing probably cost 10 times what that car was worth, and he just drive that thing like a bat out of the hell all the time. Just I think I rode in it with him once.
And you're like, no, I don't want to do this no more. Yeah.
He's right. He had more tools in that old car than the car weighed.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Eastern time, so I'm going to go to bed. But I appreciate hanging out with you guys, and everybody have a good Thanksgiving. Enjoy.
All right, you too.
Hey, man.
I appreciate
Happy Thanksgiving
here.
Thank you.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, guys.
We'll see you, man.
See you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna follow Jason out the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this off here in just a little bit, get ready for work because I'm a night shifter. But hopefully, if things go right, at least I got to work tonight. Then I'll have the next 2 nights off for Thanksgiving, the holiday, and then hopefully I might have the next 3 nights off because that's my normal weekend off. But it depends on the overtime. I may get stuck working the weekend, but at least have 2 nights off.
Well, I'll be getting the 75 Duster all cleaned out and ready to go down the road tomorrow. So that's that, Chad. So
all right. Well, thanks for jumping in here, Blake. Glad you're feeling better, buddy.
Yeah, me too. Nice seeing you guys. Nice to meet you, Brad.
See ya.
Yeah, I got this weekend. I got to get this. I'm going to get this damn Javelin back together, and then my neighbor's got that truck sitting over there, so I'm going to go pull that motor and trans out of that truck, and I might just pull that square body up here and just stick. I'm not even going to touch that motor. If it runs good, I'm just going to throw it down in there.
There you go.
I still got to get it built, though. But
you don't need to run good. It just needs to run.
Just needs to run. It's old iron V8. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things. This last, maybe 5 years of my life, I finally got to the point where I can actually make something run the way it should, instead of just piecing stuff together and it's running good enough.
Yeah,
it's running. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's running. It's been nice though.
Yeah, we had that Javelin. It never gave us any trouble, and then this happened, and I was like, man, that was like one car that I made sure was, just take off in it, and it would be fine.
Yeah, you had the distributor gear or something strip out in it.
It fucking disintegrated. It's gone.
Wow.
You can see it, look down in there, and it just looks like somebody took all the fins from the gear and just split them out. It destroyed it. And it's my own fault. Damn thing. I knew better than that. You always want to use matching gears. What I should have done was took the distributor gear off the original distributor and put it on that HEI.
Yeah.
But back when I used to build a lot of Jeep engines and stuff, because I used to just mud like you wouldn't believe with CJ7s and stuff like that. And I knew better. I've always used these MSDs, and there's another Crown I think makes one that's pretty good. And these have went up in price so bad. Good Lord, $190 for those two gears. But you should always use on an AMC engine. You should always put new gears on it. The cam gear. And
that's what you should do.
Yeah, I know. I was in a hurry.
All of them. But the Unilite, the Mallory Unilite distributors in this truck, I don't know how many different engines and camshafts it's been mated up to. But I've got brand new gears sitting on the shelf. I've got brand new gears. I'll make sure I just don't think about it. Just slap it in there and run it.
I just bought the cam gear and used the gear that was on that thing. And I thought, you know what? No, because she drives this. Luckily it happened when I was driving it just down the road.
Yeah.
And not when she was trying to get to school. She's the head lunch lady or whatever. If she would have been going, oh my God, I would have got a phone call and it would have been completely my fault.
Yeah.
And then, 70, when I'm 70, 75, 80 years old, it's still going to be brought up.
Yeah.
Like, that time I was late for work because your goddamn Javelin. Like, and she don't like that the El Camino, the Ranchero. So either way, she don't like those type. So
yeah.
She drove it tonight, but it's loaded with a whole bunch of car parts right now. So I was like, well, I guess I can. I still ain't took them out.
Yeah.
My Power Stroke, the fuel filter decided to plug. So it's doing the old, when you're trying to get going. So she can drive it. Got heat. I even got the air conditioning, the full air conditioning system for that car, from that parts car.
Really?
And it all spins, clutch is good, don't make no noise. I'm gonna put the air on it, because let's say if we take that for power tour, I ain't doing that shit without air again.
Yeah.
No way. It was 148 to 160 degrees in that Javelin the entire time. And the kids are in the back. I haven't put all the videos out. They're just sweating, red-faced, and, the hottest place we went to was Hoover, Alabama. I thought we was going to die.
That's just like riding around when we was kids.
I didn't even know what air conditioning was until I was like 20.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, it was a good thing that your parents probably never put the air conditioning, because that was bad on fuel mileage,
Oh, yeah.
Probably a good thing, especially if your parents smoked like my dad did, because the air conditioner vents were right above the ashtray.
Yeah.
So the smoke from the ashtray went up and just blow all the smoke in the back.
Well, and it just recirculates all the smoke. Yeah. So, yeah.
Hey, Sheldon.
I'm in the back window laying down, flipping off truck drivers, and the smoke's just coming through, Just sits there and swirls around you.
Yeah, I remember riding in the having Brad in here is pretty cool because we didn't like grow up together, but we spent enough time together when we was kids. A lot of good memories, riding in the back of my dad's truck with the camper shell on.
I love that.
Doing at least 120. Me, Brad, my brother. I don't know if Kevin Vince was with us or not, but there's at least three or four of us. And Dad's old blue square body with aluminum camper shell on the back of it with the boot in between, had the back glass and everything connected. And I remember you guys like, kick her down, Uncle Bob, kick her down. And he just romp on it, kick it down. We just keep going and like doing 100 miles an hour plus and just having a ball. And I remember one time we drove from, he didn't have the camper shell on. We went from Warrensburg, where I grew up, to like Clinton. I don't even know where we were going, but we all ride in the back of it. No camper shell, out in the wind for like.
We're going to the lake.
Was we going to the lake? Yeah, we went to Truman Lake.
Oh,
and
no. We were going to ride 4-wheelers.
Was that what it was?
Yeah. What's that? I forget what that was called.
Deepwater.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember riding there, and by the time we got there, I was just like, the wind noise, everything, just like I was worn out by the time we got there. But it's still a blast. I mean, we were sunburnt, windburnt, everything else by the time we even got there.
He was talking about the air conditioner, your parents not turning it on. The Pinto wouldn't have made it to the top of the hill if it had the air on.
Yeah, we got
like my javelin. Turn the air on, and the car just like, don't do it.
See, and my dad was an HVAC guy. That was his deal. I know the old blue truck, it did have air conditioning. I remember it had air conditioning.
Yeah,
but he didn't always use it. But the house, we had a big 220 window unit for a while. No, he actually put central air in it. Finally put central air, but we couldn't run it all the time. Only if it was really, really, really hot.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then it's like, might as well sit outside. I mean,
we didn't have air conditioning until I was 7, 8, 9 years old. So you're talking early 80s.
Yeah.
And we always just had the windows open. And like the youngins now, they don't understand. They can pop on their phone and watch TV. We had to wait for that damn antenna to start turning. So you're turning that rotor so it would get the motor going. And if that stuck, Dad was out there cussing, getting up there and trying to get the antenna going right, But we got that central air, and oh my God, if you touch that thermostat, if you come anywhere near that thermostat, brush across it, you was looking for a belt. Mom, don't you touch it. Don't touch it. But Mom, it's hot. We didn't have air conditioning. I grew up on a damn farm and blah, blah, blah. I was like, God damn it, I'm sweating to death. I just come from basketball practice. I'm already sweating to death. I can't take a shower because you bitch at me because I used too much water.
Yeah. Don't make a mitten. That was one of my Aunt Barbara, Brad's mom's favorite saying. If you go to the bathroom, she'd holler at you, don't make a mitten. Don't make a mitten out of the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Remember?
God, yeah.
6 squares.
Yeah, it's it.
6 squares.
And then
I'll
that house
use 24 now and smile about it.
Yeah, I'll be half a roll.
I just mind.
Yeah, I'm paying for this now. How you like this, Aunt Barb?
My dad's.
I'll wipe it and there ain't anything on it.
Don't you touch that paper. I ain't cleaning out that grease pit.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Oh, that bath. Yeah, that bathroom went. That house you grew up in, Brad, over there by Grandma and Grandpa's. I remember you guys had me so scared to death to even go to the bathroom in there because there's a hole in the floor. And I was one of the youngest ones, so they'd pick on me and tell me these stories. I was always gullible, and like, oh, you don't stay in there too long because there'll be copperheads coming up out of the hole of that bathroom, on the floor and get you. So I was scared to death to even go to the bathroom there. And then Grandma and Grandpa had an outhouse. It was a two-holer. It was a two-holer, so they was uptown. They had a two-holer outhouse. I was scared to death to go to the bathroom in that. So a 2-week visit at Grandma and Grandpa's was miserable for me.
Chad thought we was he always thought we was messing with him about the copperheads. That's not so.
No.
That's not so. I almost stepped on one in the house. It was very scary. Very scary.
Yeah. Yeah. But it came up through that hole in the bathroom. And I was scared to go to the bathroom. And see, before I knew that, I'd wait to go to the bathroom to go down to your house so I could use the bathroom so I could sit on a real pot. And then after that, I was like, now I got to go to Aunt Mary's, use their bathroom. I just bounced around depending on what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? How far was it from Grandma and Grandpa's to your house? About a mile?
No. It seemed like forever when we were kids.
Yeah.
But it's actually not even a quarter mile, man.
Ah, come on.
Seriously.
Really?
Seriously.
It seemed like a mile, 2 miles, because I walked that road several times in the middle of the night that no one knew because I got insomnia. I've had it all my life. And I'd be sleeping at your house or Aunt Mary's house, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night. Everybody else would be dead asleep, and I'd just be bored. It's like, all right, I'm going to go to Grandma and Grandpa's. I'd walk down that gravel road in the middle of the night by myself.
Yeah.
I was fine, but then you guys started telling stories, with everything out in the woods. I didn't know any better because I was a city kid. So, just walking down the road didn't matter to me. But then you guys started telling stories about the Panthers and everything else. And then, like, man.
I'm so glad you was the youngest.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. It was good times.
Yeah, it did. It seemed like it was forever to go from my house past Aunt Mary's down to Grandpa and Grandma's. But I've been there multiple times since then. And think about this. In between Aunt Mary's house and my house, on the other side of the road is the 2 acres Grandpa gave to your dad when he was young. So that's only 2 acres.
Yeah.
2 acres.
That wasn't very far, but between the corner there and Grandma and Grandpa seemed like it was like a mile. Of course, back then
it did. There's 38 acres in between Aunt Mary's trailer and Grandpa's property line right by his house.
Yeah.
38 acres. That's it.
Huh.
I looked it up on Google Earth and I was like, what? So then I measured it and I was like, there's no way. And then I started thinking about it after I got older. I was like, hold on. Actually, it's just right around the corner, but it seemed like it would miles.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've drove that. It's been probably about 5 years since I've been out there and drove it. And it's like, this ain't right.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like forever to walk that. Because we had bikes every once in a while. If there was enough bikes for everybody to ride, we'd ride bikes. But usually it's just walking back and forth, and sometimes it's at night, and who knows when.
Well, Grandpa parked all his loaner bikes when we, our cousin Annie, when we took me, Kevin, and Vincent took our bikes, and she borrowed one from him, and we rolled her down that big steep hill, and she crashed and burned and was ripped up all over. And then we made her walk home by herself, crying because we left her. Yeah, he put up all the bikes. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, that hill just around the corner from your old house, right?
Well, actually, it's quite a ways.
Yeah,
but that's 2 or 3 miles down there.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was good times. Good times.
Yep. Well, I hate to cut it short, Brad. We'll have to catch up sometime, some way, and it's been a minute or two since we've talked, but that's why I seen your name come up. Like, what the world? What? Really? Get in here if you can, because it's been a minute. But I'm gonna have to get off here. Got to get ready for work, guys. Appreciate you guys jumping in here.
Yeah. Good to join you guys.
Yep. Like I said, next week will be on Perpetual Projects channel. Same time, everything, 7:00 for the 1 hour tailgate talk, and then after hours, at least an hour or two, probably. So join in there. Yeah, when I work, we don't have the long 8-hour lives like I've had before.
Colonoscopy escapade.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just on the 5-hour live on that one. That was something else. But all right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Good seeing you again, Brad.
Good to see you. I haven't caught any of your lives, buddy, but I have been following you.
Yeah.
UNO race truck. Pretty close. Truck. Yep. Yeah. Because race truck. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We'll see you later, buddy.
Talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Thanks, everybody, for joining in on the chat. We will see you next week on Perpetual Projects channel.